Child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Speculation continues over whether the Fed will raise interest rates soon. One expert offering a clue.
An expectation, but not a commitment. That's how Fed Vice Chairman Stanley Fischer describes the possibility the central bank will nudge rates up this year. Fischer, speaking on the sidelines of the International Monetary Fund meeting in Peru, said the timing still depends on several factors. He noted the recent disappointing drop in U.S. job growth, but said he still thinks the economy is generating enough new jobs to inspire more consumer spending and higher prices. That, says Fischer, could keep the Fed on track to raise rates by year-end. But he cautioned that the U.S. is more exposed than ever to global events, and developments in China and elsewhere have already led the Fed to delay a widely expected rate hike in September. Pat O'Neill, Fox News Radio.
Out of this world, but still number one at the box office.
He's 50 million miles away from home. He's totally alone. What the hell is he thinking right now?
I am the greatest botanist on this planet.
Matt Damon's astronaut character left for dead on Mars, but showing a lot of life at the box office. The Martian, number one a second straight weekend, making another $37 million. The animated sequel, Hotel Transylvania 2, again in second place, making another $20.3 million. Opening in third.
I'm going to tell you a story about a boy who would never grow up.
Panned by critics, still pulling in $15.5 million. The Intern taking in another $8.7 million, its third weekend in theaters. The drug war thriller Sicario rounding out the top five with $7.4 million. Jane Metzler, Fox News Radio.
The Bond car is making a pit stop in Paris, nearly all of them except for the submarine car used in The Spy Who Loved Me on display, including the Aston Martin in the latest film, Spectre, coming out this fall. Spectre is out in November in the U.S. and features a chase scene through the streets of Rome. Lisa Lacera, Fox News Radio.
The 10th annual Jeep Jaunt is October 25th, and as part of this year's celebration, Sterling Jeep has donated a 2015 Wrangler to be raffled for the American Lung Association. Tickets are just $20 per chance and can be purchased at Automotive Gear, Sterling Automotive, Town Square Media, and online at this station's website. The drawing will be held October 25th at Cypress Bayou Casino Hotel, and you don't have to be present to win. Buy your ticket today. You may win a Jeep, but you will be helping the American Lung Association. For more information, click the Events tab on this station's website.
I've always liked anything that rolls, explodes, and makes noise.
Jay Leno's back with a new show about the rides that move us.
It is more than just about cars. It's about style. It's about the personalities, why people like cars. It's about the way vehicles make you feel.
Every car has a story, and everybody has a story about their car.
It's not just about fancy cars. It's about vehicles that touch a nerve.
Jay Leno's Garage. All new Wednesdays at 10.
It's having the story that goes with the car.
CNBC.
Because we don't always agree.
Yes, once again, man, I'm completely offended.
The conversation happens here. News Talk 96.5, KPEL, Acadiana's talk station.
Welcome to the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. I'm your host, Tiffiany Decou. Here we talk about all the food happenings around Acadiana. If you like food, tune in. You might learn something new. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all are recovering from a busy Festival Acadiana weekend. This was a working weekend for me, so I didn't get to go spend the whole weekend out there. I did stop by today and try a couple of things. I always have to get the Poop Hearts pasta.
That looked really delicious, by the way.
Have you had it before? Because it's the same one that they have at Festival International.
I've never had the pasta, but I eat at Poop Hearts.
I feel like the serving size at Festival Acadiana is a little bigger, and it's got a little more sauce to it.
It was quite a large portion that you put.
Yeah, it was a big portion, and just like Festival International, everything's under $10 there. I think the most expensive things were like around $8, so it's really affordable. I also tried crawfish tamales.
I saw that,
which I thought was kind of interesting. You could get them steamed or fried. I got mine steamed, so they came in the little paper, and they were really thin. And there wasn't like a center of crawfish like I was expecting. I guess everything was all blended together.
Oh, that's good.
With the maza. So it was good. It tasted great. I didn't really get a crawfish taste
No?
to it at all. Got a tamale taste, but I like tamales, so it worked for me.
That sounds like a win-win.
Yeah. Did you get to go out there at all?
I did not. I was working.
Working?
I know.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Work cuts into a lot of fun time.
And here we are.
Right. Right.
But we love it.
We do. We love it. I just want to mention really quickly the passing of Chef Paul Prudhomme this week.
I saw that. Terrible loss.
When I heard it, it just made me think of my grandmother right away. And I think it's because she had his cookbooks growing up. And I always redfish. Like, I associate redfish with him. And he kind of put Cajun cuisine on the map and brought it to New Orleans. And a funny story that I want to tell really quickly about him, when I was reading about him last week, and it's a lesson on failure. And I think a lot of people, when they think of failure as being a bad thing, but it can be a really good thing too. So one of the things that I was reading about from him, he's originally from the Opelousas area, and his first restaurant was a burger restaurant in Opelousas.
Oh, wow.
And it closed after 9 months. And the thing that I was reading said his first marriage also ended at that time.
Oh, my goodness.
But had that restaurant not failed, he would have not ended up at Commander's Palace in New Orleans. And at the time that he went to Commander's Palace, it was a failing restaurant. So he resurrected it. He's also the chef that hired Emeril Lagasse.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Yeah. So had that burger restaurant in Opelousas never failed, none of that stuff would have happened. So it's kind of, things happen for a reason.
I agree.
It was a nice little lesson to learn last week. It was a cool story to read about. But I have not had the chance to dine at Commander's Palace yet. It's on my list. But he kind of resurrected it and made it what it is today.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was a cool little thing to read about. I'm just trying to, I want to know what the name of the burger restaurant was. I'm going to have to research that some more and find out what the name of it was. Could you imagine had he not gone to New Orleans and just stayed in Opelousas?
It's true.
Yeah.
Life's funny sometimes, but...
Right. My Whiskey for Women class is happening this coming Thursday. Tickets are still available. They're $25. You can get them at E's Kitchen, which is in Park Lafayette.
Yes.
It's going to be at 6 p.m. I'm going to be talking about women's role in whiskey. Finished reading my book.
Yeah.
Really interesting. Got to make notes and make them entertaining and make sense for the class now. Paul Ao is going to be doing some cocktails with whiskey, and then we'll have a whiskey distributor on hand to tell us about the different whiskeys that we're going to try. So it'll be a good class if you're new to whiskey and you're curious.
Bring a D.
Yeah, you can learn a lot in the class. And I will say this again, Paul's very heavy-handed with his pours, so you definitely get your money's worth.
That's awesome.
So if anyone's interested in going to that, tickets are still available.
You pumped about that?
Yeah,
right.
I am. To psych myself up, I went to Social this past week.
Okay.
We had mentioned on last week's show, they were named one of the top bourbon bars in the United States.
Yes.
And they had the High West Campfire, which I had actually first tried at one of Paul's whiskey tasting classes. And it's the only equally blended bourbon, whiskey, and scotch on the market. And I describe it as tasting like liquid bacon in a glass.
I like bacon.
Yeah. So if you like bacon, if you like really smoky stuff, this is a good whiskey for you.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a very full show tonight. So joining me as guest co-host tonight is Jolie Moe. She's a realtor with Keller Williams. And then later on in the show, we're going to have Brian Kish, who is the president of the Emeril Lagasse Foundation. He's going to come on to talk about the Boudin Bourbon and Beer event that's happening next month in November. Super fun. Went last year. It's kind of like if you're a food lover, this event is for you. You got to do it. Yeah. And then Bob Carricker is also going to be on the show later to talk about the Boudin Cook-Off next weekend. He's the Godfather of Boudin. It's a very Boudin-centric show.
I think your face is like
lit up because I'm so excited about everyone that's on this show tonight. When I was promoting the show, I actually said it's a very royal show because I consider Jolie Moe to be the queen of rice and gravy. She said, I just want to say I did not give myself that title. I said, no, I anointed you that title.
Best title, yeah.
Because she's a realtor with Keller Williams. First off, she's a mom of 3 beautiful, intelligent, different personality girls. She hosts the most coveted seat on Sunday nights is a seat on her porch for Sunday supper. She hosts Sunday supper each week. They have different themes. And she happens to make a mean beef bouillette, or you can call it meatball stew, but you don't call it meatball stew with her. You call it beef bouillette. I was actually telling Bob before the show that if fried chicken was not my death row meal, her beef bouillettes would be my death row meal.
Sounds good.
So thank you for joining me tonight, Jolie.
You're welcome.
Did you like that warm-up, that introduction?
Well, I can't argue. You're going to say nice things about my food.
I'm wondering where's the to-go plates? Where's the pots?
There has never been bouillettes left over.
No.
Never.
She has a gumbo. She made a gumbo for tonight's Sunday supper, actually.
I did. I made it on
Friday night.
I made it Friday night so I could come here.
And I've had her gumbo before, too.
Where's the sample?
And
where's the love? Where is the love?
You'll just have to go to her house after the show and taste it.
That's a good point. You don't get Sunday supper food if you don't come to Sunday supper.
True.
Unless you're ill. We will. That's the exception to the rule.
It's like a Meals on Wheels type thing?
I have delivered.
I will also say that she has worked in the restaurant industry for many years. How long were you a bartender?
Almost 2 decades.
2 decades. Wow. And she was a bartender in New Orleans to kind of tie everything is kind of connected tonight, which didn't mean for that to happen, but it did, and I think it's cool. But yeah, she was a bartender for almost 20 years in New Orleans, right? And so Molly's
is where I worked for about 8 years. I'm old. I don't remember exact years anymore, but I was there a very long time. I'm painted on the wall over there. I was there so long.
Oh,
she's very well known. And in fact, I went to a dinner last week or the week before last and sat next to a gentleman who was in the music industry in New Orleans and knew you.
Yeah, that's very common.
Yeah.
There's a lot of musicians that go to Molly's.
She also learned to cook in Vermilion Parish.
I did.
VP.
Which is the most Cajun parish of them all.
It is. That's where my people from. I like them a little bit.
And who taught you to cook?
Most of the females in my family cook, but my taunt and my grandmother and my mom, my great grandmother. I lived in their kitchens. I loved their kitchens. So,
and I like now too how you're kind of handing that down to your daughters, because I know a lot of times that I've walked into your kitchen and your daughters are in there on step stools, kind of right next to you, watching you cook.
May was stirring a roux just the other day because some man was trying to sell me shrimp, but she learned the big thing about not walking away from the roux, because that's why you like my rice and gravy.
It's a true story. Okay, we are going to take a break, and when we come back, we have more with Jolie Moe. So come back to us. It's the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
It's October 25th, and as part of this year's celebration, Sterling Jeep has donated a 2015 Wrangler to be raffled for the American Lung Association. Tickets are just $20 per chance and can be purchased at Automotive Gear, Sterling Automotive, Town Square Media, and online at this station's website. The drawing will be held October 25th at Cypress Bayou Casino Hotel, and you don't have to be present to win. Buy your ticket today. You may win a Jeep, but you will be helping the American Lung Association. For more information, click the Events tab on this station's website.
Paying off credit cards can get expensive, and it can be an endless hassle to get a loan at a bank, which is why there is now another way to get the money you need at a competitive fixed interest rate without the hassles, fees, and risks. It's called Avant. Your loan through Avant can be approved in minutes, and money can be in your account in as little as 1 business day. And unlike peer lending sites, there are no costly origination fees for unsecured loans or waiting up to a week for the funds. So if you need a small or a substantial loan, go to Avant.com to check your interest rate. We think you're going to like what you see. Right now, Avant will also give you a $50 Amazon.com gift card after your first installment is made on time. To check your rates with no effect on your FICO score and get this special offer, go to Avant.com today and enter promo code 8787 at checkout. That's www.avant.com, promo code 8787. Loans are made by web bank and affiliates of Avant, Inc. Funds are deposited for delivery next business day if approved by 4:30 p.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday. Avant California loans are made under Finance Lenders License 603K124. Amazon is not a sponsor of this promotion. Other restrictions apply. See website for details.
This is the sound of salmonella gyrating on your undercooked chicken. And it looks like Mom might be taking it out a little early. Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. So use a thermometer to cook each type of meat to the right temperature. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
Updating you with the news that matters. Coming up at the top of the hour.
I don't watch television, so I get all my news from you.
On News Talk 96.5, KPEL.
Welcome back to the Lafayette Food Junkie show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. I'm your host, Tiffiany Decou, and joining me as guest co-host tonight is Jolie Moe. I love that was just House of the Rising Sun, and that we have like a New Orleans themed almost.
This is working out perfectly.
It's working out. It was written in the universe for all of this to happen tonight. Being that you have bartended and worked in the restaurant industry for so long, I'm sure that you have some great stories.
Give us the juice.
Write a book,
tell us some stories.
Of course, you're going to make me think of them now. I know, let's see, Molly's is probably one of the best. We have a huge Halloween. Everybody knows it.
Mm-hmm.
So the people that get in fights and costumes is amazing. So one year I had a 6'5" man dressed like a bunny rabbit. And I'm not talking like just the little puffy tail. I'm talking full suit, full hat, nose, huge man. Get in a fight with about a 5'3" man dressed like an Amish man. And it was probably the funniest fight I've ever seen because the bunny rabbit actually did not win said fight.
Oh, wow.
Taken out by the 5'2" Amish man. I've also carried people out dressed as the leg lamp from Christmas Story. I had one guy, for some reason, he very crazily would like to dump my ashtrays and run away. And one time,
interesting.
Yeah. And one time I was like, no more, just don't throw my ashtray. And he just ran back and he goes, Jesus loves you. And just ran away. And I was like, oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Like, we have a lot of them. It's true. I've had to hold up people's pants while they wait for cabs.
You've also had very famous
I have.
people that you've waited on or bartended.
You like the Kenny Loggins story?
Yes, I do.
I worked at a restaurant in California, and I got a private room, and Kenny Loggins' family came in. So I expected them to be obviously stuffy, and, you don't think people are really who they are.
Right.
It's just usually not that way. Let me tell you, Kenny Loggins comes from the country. His mama sat down, and she looked at that menu, and she looked at me, and she's like, you got chicken strips? And this is a 4-star, really nice restaurant. And I was like, well, ma'am, we don't. She's like, I'm not going to eat this. I don't know what this is. And we had to go make her special chicken strips. And it was awesome. I was like, Kenny Loggins is the real thing. His people are country.
Didn't they want like white Zinfandel or something, and somebody had refused to
That was a couple. No, that was a different couple.
Okay.
I got really upset because they refused this couple that came in. They're like, I'm not serving white Zinfandel. And I just have a theory. I'm like, some people save all year to go to a nice restaurant.
Yeah.
And the truth is, who are you to judge them of what they're drinking? Yeah, you may not like white Zinfandel, but you know what? They've worked. They're probably all year to go to this one anniversary dinner. So you know what? Give the woman some white Zinfandel, because this is the truth. It does taste like Kool-Aid, and we all truly secretly love Kool-Aid. Let's just admit it. I think it's just a big facade. I'm not going to drink it. Yes, you will, secretly, in your house. Don't lie.
Let's look in the fridge.
There's
probably a big
bottle. We've all had a wine cooler. We've all been like, shouldn't be liking this, but it's pretty good.
I don't know about y'all. Speaking of that, you just made me go to this memory. Zimas. Do y'all remember Zimas?
Do you remember having Zima drink-offs with the guys?
No,
the guys
I didn't
would do it with
that,
each other.
But we would take Jolly Ranchers
and put it in
the Zimas to flavor it.
Yes, I had an unfaithful moment at Girard Park with Zimas that, I'll just keep to myself.
Do they even make Zimas anymore?
I think they do.
Do people buy Zimas is the most important question, I guess.
Well, they still buy Boone's Farm, so,
This is true. Oh, Boone's.
Strawberry Hill.
It's my that's my gateway wine.
That's where it all starts. I think
it's like $2. I've started a wine review on Instagram. I started it last week. It's called $5 reviewing $5 wine, so you don't have to. And so if anyone is interested in that, go like the Lafayette Food Junkie on Instagram. Go start following me, because I'm going to try to do it weekly. So last week I did one. It's like the groovy bottle is what it was called, because it was marketed as a green wine, because it had a resealable cork on it, which was really nice. And it's like it is an actual cork, but it has a a screw top on it so you can kind of put it back in there. And being someone that doesn't drink wine in one sitting, I appreciated that. However, first glass out of there was pretty nasty. It was pretty nasty. It definitely needs an aerator or to breathe. Second glass was like a week later, and it tasted great.
A week later?
Girl, that lasted in my fridge for 3 weeks.
Sometimes that bottle, they
I like
don't
how
last
she's
a
giving
whole
to
day.
it. She's like, just so you don't have to test the wines, I'm going to do
Right,
it for you.
I'm doing it for you.
You're very giving that way.
So it lasted 3 weeks. So I finished it last week. So I gave it a B+, and I said that it's a good wine if you live alone and you don't drink a lot. It's great because it has that resealable cap on it so you can keep it for a long time. I would not recommend doing more than 3 weeks because that last one was kind of iffy, that last glass. But if you're a social butterfly, get another bottle is what I said for that one. But you guys, I've drank wine on your porch quite frequently. You're a fan of the black box wine.
I like the Boda box actually more
the
than the
Boda
black
box. Oh, okay.
But I like box wine because it's not a commitment. And we have a lot of guests on Sunday supper sometimes. So economically,
you got to go with the big box wine.
You do have to go with the box, with the Car Bordeaux.
And I will say that after Boone's, my second wine gateway was Franzia.
Mine was Andre Pink Champagne.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ooh, it's so awful.
I'm kind of like,
I thought it was awesome.
I'm kind of imagining what that tastes like.
It's just the Zima Jolly Rancher taken lower levels.
Gotcha. I remember that I brought a bottle of Barefoot Prosecco to your house once and was made fun of quite heavily for it, and I didn't find it to be that bad of a Prosecco.
It's so sweet.
It was very sweet.
So sweet.
It was a sweeter one out of the Prosecco.
I know who made fun of you too.
Oh, I mean, you can just imagine. Yeah. But like, I didn't find it to be that bad for what I paid for it.
Yeah.
But there are definitely better Proseccos out there. But it wasn't bad. It was more on the sweet side.
Have you done a Vino Verde?
No.
Those are my favorite for the summer.
Vino Verde?
It's a Portugal white wine, but it's slightly bubbly. It's real light. Oh, it's so good. Vino Verde's
I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm trying to get on the whiskey wine review market. Like, that's what I'm trying to start.
I'll let you keep the whiskey.
Reviewing now. Oh, I love me some whiskey.
Can't do it.
Love it. And being someone that has worked in the restaurant industry for so long and has lived in Lafayette and New Orleans, what are some of your favorite restaurants?
Which, Lafayette and New Orleans?
Yeah, let's do Lafayette and New Orleans.
Lafayette, I think, for classic Riverside. I mean, you can't go wrong with I don't know what they do to that crab meat, but it's ridiculous.
The butter in the butter.
That good. It's so simple, and yet it's amazing.
It's soaked in butter.
It's
one
of those places you'll just keep eating, even though you know you're going to make yourself ill, but you're like, can't stop myself. Of course, I love like Johnson's downtown. That's a basic, wonderful one.
And the named special. Oh my God.
Social. You know how I feel about my social and my fries.
Your fries are back.
I love those fries.
I wanted to get them so bad this past week, but I had fries the night before in Boudin for breakfast. So I felt like I needed to be responsible, and I got a beet and goat cheese salad instead. But I wanted those fries.
I'm never responsible at social. That's ridiculous. That's just wrong.
I remember how upset you got when they took them off the menu too, because it's seasonal.
I did. Me and the waiter had a conversation.
Yeah, because I think in the summer they do like kimchi fries.
They do the kimchi fries. Yeah.
So in the winter, it's a mustard gravy with boudin, and it has an egg. Now Jolie is not a fan of eggs.
No.
And so I think she probably gets hers without the egg on
I
it.
get it to the side, and the kids
get it to the side. But it looks so good.
I love how everybody knows my hatred of eggs. I'm going to get so much for it.
I love that one of your friends sends you an egg recipe every morning on your Facebook page. And I'm reading it like, yes, I want to make all of these recipes. So thank you for posting it, making fun of her for not liking eggs.
Yeah, it's a personal torture. He loves sending me a runny egg. Ugh.
Yeah, I actually appreciate those recipes.
Well, there you go.
So I'm happy that your friend does that. What are some of your favorite restaurants in New Orleans?
Well, you know my love for Siberia, always.
I have yet to go there.
It's a wonderful hidden gem in New Orleans. Like, you wouldn't expect to go into this kind of hard rock bar, and behind it is this tiny Polish restaurant. And some of the most wonderful, up-to-date Polish food. Like, his pierogies are ridiculous. He actually used to trade free beer for him before he had the restaurant because they're that good.
Wow.
And he makes you'd love his burger with the egg on it and the caviar. I mean, everything
he makes a burger with an egg and caviar?
I think he's one of his specials, but he changes the burgers around. And then he makes, like, a Polish version of gravy fries. Everything is so good. Definitely.
Is it on Frenchman?
No, it's
okay.
It's in the right towards St. Roch Market.
That's what I thought.
4 blocks up.
Okay, that's what I thought. It was in that area. What do you think about? So, I know I took Uber a lot last time I was in New Orleans, and the drivers kept going on and on about Frenchman Street and like how everyone's going to Frenchman Street.
Frenchman
now.
That's where I sent a friend of ours. Just went.
Yeah.
Frenchman Street's great. It's come up. The bars have gotten a lot nicer. It's safe, I think, safer because they've started that art market, which is great. So you can walk through the market, do the shopping. It's all local artists, local jewelers, and then you can go to like DBA and go see music. You go to Three Muses and get a little, something to eat and see a nice band of music. It's really come up. When I first started there, Frenchman had hardly anything on it.
Yeah, and it's because I keep trying to place where it is, but it's like Frenchman's right at the end of the quarter.
When the quarter ends,
yeah,
and where Decatur ends, right when you cross Esplanade, that turns into Frenchman. And there's like Mona's there, who has like the best hummus ever.
I've actually eaten at Mona's before. I've eaten at one on Magazine before.
I think, Frenchman just allows you to go out and not worry as much about traveling. You can go to all these different places and get different food and music without traveling too. And you can see one of my favorite bar managers.
I'm gonna have to go.
I love him.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's their restaurant scene is exploding
in New Orleans. I think
right
it's going to implode a little bit.
There's been some articles about that as well, that they think that it's about to stop, and especially with restaurant worker shortage. We talked about that a little bit on last week's show, that they're really feeling that a lot, not enough workers. And then with the recent armed robberies of 3 of the restaurants as well, that they're
unfortunately
worried.
that happens often.
Yeah,
it's happened every summer. Usually the bars tend to get
Really?
robbed. Oh yeah, it's happened. Obviously, I worked in the bar and restaurant for a long time. It actually happens every few years, and they have little sprees of it.
Well, I know that they caught 2 of the gentlemen, because it was 3 of them they hit 2 restaurants and a bar was the last one, and I know they caught 2, and it's some teenagers.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
All
right, well, we are going to take a break, and when we come back, we have Brian Kish, who is president of the Emeril Lagasse Foundation, to come on, and he's going to talk about Boudin Bourbon and Beer. So come back to us. It's the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPAL.
Welcome to the News Talk 96.5 KPL Community Calendar. Cajun Day at the Delcombe Seafood and Farmers Market is Saturday, October 3rd, beginning at 8 a.m. at the Bayou Carlin Cove Boat Landing in Delcombe. You can sample what's fresh and in season from area farms and local waters. Also, Cajun music and children's activities. Call 800-884-6120. Free workshop titled Genealogy 101 is Saturday, October 3rd, beginning at 9:30 a.m. at the Lafayette Public Library in downtown. Log on to LafayetteGenealogicalSociety.org. And big fundraiser for Friends of the Lafayette Public Library. Their annual author dinner is Thursday, October 8th, beginning at 6:30 p.m. at Lafayette's Petroleum Club. Delicious food and lots of activities. Get your tickets. Call 984-8661. McDonald's Quarter Pounder with Cheese is a quarter pound of 100% pure beef nestled between 2 slices of melted cheese. Be sure, try one today.
You're a 19-year-old kid critically wounded in the Central Highlands of Vietnam. Your unit is outnumbered 8-1, and the enemy fire is so intense that your CO has ordered the medevac helicopters to stop coming in. Your family is halfway around the world, and you're thinking that you'll never see them again. Then you hear the sound of a helicopter. Captain Ed Freeman is coming for you. He's not medevac, but he heard the radio call and decided to fly down into the machine gun fire anyway. Then he flies you up and out to safety, and he keeps coming back 13 more times until all the wounded are out. No one knew until the mission was over that the captain himself had been hit 4 times. Medal of Honor recipient Captain Ed Freeman died in Boise, Idaho. We're losing about 285 Vietnam veterans every day. But the Education Center at the Wall will preserve stories like these so future generations will understand and never forget. Call 1-866-990-WALL or go to buildthecenter.org and help us build it.
This is Dave from the Dave Matthews Band for RAD. When you go out and party, get drunk, then drive, you're not only loaded, you're a loaded weapon. When you celebrate, designate. Choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives, and so should you.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
News Talk 96.5, KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette. Online at kpel965.com.
Welcome back to the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. I'm your host, Tiffiany Decou. Guest co-host tonight has been Jolie Moe. And joining us now via phone is Mr. Brian Kish, who is the president of the Emeril Lagasse Foundation. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Brian.
Hey, my pleasure, Tiffany. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate giving us the time.
So us here in Cajun country are very familiar with Boudin. Many of us may not know about the Boudin Bourbon and Beer event. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, you bet. This is actually going to be the 5th year that Emeril, and he's joined by co-chairs Mario Batali and Donald Link in hosting our Boudin Bourbon and Beer Festival. All the money we're raising, every single penny that we're able to clear after all the expenses goes right towards youth programming here in New Orleans and also throughout Louisiana and the Gulf region. But essentially what the event is, and I'm telling you, this is one of the best events you'll ever go to. We have over 60 of some of the best chefs here in Louisiana, but throughout the Gulf region. I would say half probably are James Beard Award winners or nominees or Food and Wine Magazine winners, and they're doing their take on Boudin. Now, I'm telling you, it's a loose take on Boudin because last year I saw everything from traditional Boudin to seafood Boudin to Boudin snowballs, believe it or not. And so they're going to be putting out great food. We're sponsored by Abita. So our friends at Abita Beer have plenty of trucks. They're going to bring out special cask ales. And then Buffalo Trace are going to show up with their bourbons, their whole family of bourbons. And we just don't stop there. You know, Emeril, when he's going to throw a party, he's going to throw one heck of a party. So we got the Boudin, we got the bourbon, we got the beer. We also have music. So we're going to have two of our headlines are El King and then St. Paul and the Broken Bones. And we're even going to throw in a little sort of modern Cajun music in there with Sweet Crude. So it is on November 13th in Champion Square here in New Orleans. So it's not only a New Orleans event. We get people from all over the state and actually all over the country coming.
And tickets are $99. They are available through Ticketmaster. Do y'all cut off when you can buy tickets, or are they available to be purchased up to the day of the event?
As long as we have tickets available, you could buy them right up to the event. So definitely be checking out. We have a limit, of about 5,000 people. You can pack more in there, but listen, we want people to make sure they have a good experience. That's why we moved to a new location.
It's a huge
Champion
event.
Square.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's plenty of space, so the lines aren't bad at all. You're going to get plenty of food and drink. And unlike other festivals, what's really cool about this one is once you're in there, there's no expenses. Now, if you want to play some more raffle games, win some other prizes and all of that, or bid on some of the cool silent auction items, you can do that. But once you're in, it's basically all you can eat and drink. So you're not going to end up short on food or beverage at this festival.
Yeah, I went last year for the first time, and I remember walking through it and I'm such a fan of food and chefs, and I felt like I was at a Top Chef event is basically how I felt, because so many of the chefs that were there were on Top Chef, And I remember specifically Hugh Acheson and Susan Spicer were right next to each other. And I kind of had like a mini meltdown moment. And one of the things that is great about this event is that you can meet these chefs and take pictures with them. Hugh was like taking selfies with people. Like he and Susan like stopped at one moment to take a picture together. So if you're a fan of chefs and food, this is a great event and opportunity for you to actually get to meet and talk to the chef as well.
You're absolutely right. It's one of the special things. Last year was my first year, believe it or not. I've only been president of the Emeril Lagasse Foundation for a little over a year now. And, I'm trying to do my job, but I'm with you. I was starstruck. I mean, you have Emeril next to Donald Link, and you had Hugh Acheson and Ed Lee that won a Top Chef. You have Justin DeVilliers that's been on Top Chef. You had, we could go on and on. This year we have Corey Bear that's been just killing it here in northern Louisiana from Monroe. We're going to have one of the chefs from Underbelly in Houston, which is one of the hottest restaurants in Houston. Yep. Kevin Rathburn from Atlanta. We're even getting the guys from Burns Steakhouse in Tampa. I mean, we've kind of gone throughout the South and said, who are some of the big names, some of the folks that are really just making it happen in the food world. Everyone from, John Currents in Mississippi to our own folks right here in New Orleans. So if you love, being around great food, great beverages, and certainly seeing some of these chefs that truly are artists, this really is the place to be.
My goal this year is actually to get to meet and talk to Donald Link, because he and I saw him at one point and I got scared and didn't want to go up and talk to him. But for my writing career, like when Cochon opened in Lafayette, it kind of paralleled my food writing career. So he means a lot to me. And so I wanted to talk to him about that. But I got scared. And when I turned around, he was gone. So that's one of my goals this year is to get to meet him. And I remember I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to say,
if you find me, grab me, and we'll go get him.
Okay,
he's
great.
The nicest guy, so he would love to chat with you.
Yeah, I would love to meet him. I remember one of the dishes that stood out for me last year. Well, two. So I had the vegan Boudin. It's so crazy, and I've told everyone here, no, you don't understand. It really tasted like Boudin. They refused to believe me. But it did. It really tasted like actual Boudin. And I was like, this is vegan. It's crazy. And then the other one was from the chef at Square Root. And he did like a cotton candy fried chicken, I want to say. And when I got his, I had to like sit down for a moment because I was just overwhelmed with the amount of talent that was at this event and having food that I have never gotten to try before in different ways. It was so over the top. And that's another reason why I love this event so much.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Chef Lopez at Root and Square Root does some really, he's really into the gastronomy. So you'll have something as far as, out there like that to, very traditional. Donald Link and Emeril, that's what they do. They do the traditional Boudin. And I'll be honest, that was one of my favorite dishes last year. It was just some of the traditional. Again, I'm not a native New Orleanian, so it was somewhat new to me. But you're gonna experience everything. I'm starting to look at some of the menu. I actually have it right here in front of me. What people are doing. I don't want to put too much out there. I want to leave some of the surprise. But everything from turtle Boudin Noir, which is going to include turtle blood, to a Southern Florida take on Boudin, to Caribbean-style rillettes, to our friends at Toop's Meadery is going to be back again. This was one of my favorites as well, Isaac Toops, who's really just doing a bang-up job here in New Orleans and is someone that trained under Emeril. At his station, he was doing, regular cracklins, which is great, but he was doing chicken mousse right out of one of those air guns and putting it right in people's mouths.
Yes.
I'll be honest. I think I went back 2 or 3 times.
I remember seeing that. My co-host at the time had worked with him at a boucherie that they did in New Orleans with a lot of the chefs. And I remember that was again another one that I wanted to go up and introduce myself to, and it didn't happen. Now, if you're not a fan of beer or Boudin, it's not Boudin, bourbon or beer. I want to just say, too, that you guys have wine as well, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. My wife is actually, she's not a beer or a bourbon drinker, which is great because that means more for me. But
right.
She's a wine drinker. So we're actually going to have Bourbon Cook-Off out of California. And, I mean, great wine. This isn't, the swill wine that's poured at some events. Again, if Emeril's going to put his name on something, it's only going to be high class, high quality. So we're going to have Bourbon Cook-Off, Landmark, Justin Winery. We'll be pouring wine as well. So it's going to be good quality wine. So,
and there's also cigar tastings, correct?
Yeah. What's kind of fun is the steps going up into the Superdome. We're putting things on the steps. So at the top this year, it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to have coffee, ice cream, and a donut truck.
Oh, wow.
Which is going to be fun. And then one level down, we're setting up like a cigar lounge from Nat Sherman out of New York, who's one of the top cigar makers in the United States, coming in from New York City. And they open up, and, I mean, again, you don't buy them, folks. This is, you come right up, and you get yourself a cigar, sit back with a bourbon, watch the live music, and it's a treat. Yeah. So, I mean, there's something for everybody. There's games going on. Again, as you said, if you're a vegetarian, there's going to be plenty of vegetarian food.
Right.
Yeah. Like you said, pescatarians, plenty of seafood. So, yeah, absolutely. And the thing that I like, Tiffany, too, again, is it's a party. It's a great time. It's a lot of fun. And we have a really, really great time. But in the end, all the money we raise is going towards kids. I heard on your last segment, you guys were talking a little bit about the shortage of service here in New Orleans, which is very, very true of service workers, especially in the food industry. And one of the things that we've been working on, there's 3 organizations that we support, Cafe Reconcile, Liberty's Kitchen, and Cafe Hope. And they're taking these folks where they're teaching them life skills. They're coming in, they're learning life skills and some of the basic things that maybe some of us learn. And these are kids from some very, very difficult and tough situations. They come into these places, they learn those skills, and then they teach them culinary skills and they teach them service skills. So after a 12-week program, not only did they learn the hard skills of how to work in a kitchen or in the front of the house, but they also learned some of the things that maybe we were benefited by learning at home that now they're being taught by mentors. So that's one of the things that we support, and the money we raise goes towards that. So it goes right back even into the food industry itself and helping kids out.
All right, and we're going to reiterate, Friday, November 13th, Boudin Bourbon and Beer, and pay $99. Tickets are available through Ticketmaster, and you get to go meet all the chefs, eat this amazing food, drink a lot of alcohol, and you get to help support a cause as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Brian.
Hey, we really appreciate it, and thanks for giving us the time, and again, helping us talk about this event. We hope everybody from around the state, all parts, come down and join us for one heck of a party here in New Orleans.
Absolutely. I look forward to seeing you next month.
All right. Take care.
Thanks. All right, we are going to take another break, and when we come back, we have the Godfather of Boudin, Bob Carricker, on to talk about the Boudin Cook-Off. So come back to us. It's the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
The UPS Store presents The Real Story of the Caterer and the Missing Ingredient.
I'm Carly with Lavish Fruits Catering.
Carly had eager customers chomping at the bit.
They were calling me, like, where's your new business?
Unfortunately, she was missing one big thing.
I had to get a legal address before I could get my kitchen.
So Carly turned to the one person she knew could help.
I'm Gloriana. I'm a UPS store owner. We got her set up with her mailbox.
Not only would a mailbox give Carly a real street address,
she can receive all her packages. It's 24-hour access, so it's really convenient. I want to make sure she gets taken care of.
That day, Carly discovered a new secret ingredient.
I call it Gloriana.
Aww.
Every day, we help real customers like Carly grow their business from the mailbox out. We can help you too. Come see us or visit theupsstore.com. Together, there's nothing we can't solve. The UPS Store franchise locations are independently owned and operated. Services, pricing, and hours of operation may vary by location. See Center for details.
Eat warrior. Hoverboard.
Pepsi presents the once-in-a-lifetime Back to the Future Experience, Wednesday, October 21st, 2015, at Park International, downtown Lafayette, featuring live on stage, the Molly Ringwalds. Along with great live music, there will also be a selfie station brought to you by Hampton Toyota that includes a DeLorean time machine replica from the movie. Tickets are $10 pre-sale, $15 day of. Get your tickets now at City Bar Downtown, Legends Annex, Marley Sports Bar, Sub-Zero Ice Cream and Yogurt, Ajafalai Gold in Henderson, Frog City and Rain, and Silvers in Breaux Bridge. The Back to the Future Experience, another Town Square Media Live event.
Home for the Holidays does so much good.
So much good.
For so many. Home for the Holidays gives you the chance to win a beautiful 2,600 square foot home valued at $490,000. This year's home in Tuscany subdivision was built by AHBA builder member Mike Thompson. It features 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, and loads of amenities. Your $100 ticket gives you a chance to win other great prizes too, like a 2016 Cadillac SRX from Service Cadillac, a $10,000 home makeover, a GE Cafe refrigerator from Tops Appliances, and diamond earrings from Paul's Jewelry. Tickets are on sale at Acadiana Home Bank locations, all Doug Ashy building materials, and online at homefortheholidaySLA.com. Home for the Holidays does so much good.
So much good.
For Faith House, Habitat for Humanity, Healing House, and St. Michael's Center for Veterans. Get your ticket today and remember what's raised in Acadiana stays in Acadiana. Home for the Holidays, a project of the Acadian Home Builders and KATC TV3 with special help from Town Square radio stations.
Be prepared, because when big news breaks, it breaks here.
This latest report this morning reflects
News Talk 96.5, KPEL.
Welcome back to the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. I'm your host, Tiffiany Decou. Guest co-host tonight has been Jolie Moe. And joining us now in studio is Bob Carricker, who is the godfather of Boudin. I don't think that there is one topic that is not as heated and debatable as who has the best Boudin around here. We were just talking about it during the break. Screaming matches, fist fights, friendships have been broken up over who makes the best Boudin. It is such a controversial topic.
It is
indeed.
You
know better.
I do. And I want to thank
anyone.
you and congratulate you on pronouncing my name correctly.
Yes.
We've known each other too long.
I'm surprised because as I was saying it, I was like, I'm probably saying this.
No, it was perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
I said a name correctly. I'm so bad about doing that incorrectly. Thank you for joining us again.
Thanks for having me.
Boudin Cook-Off is happening next weekend.
Right.
And where is it located?
Yeah, it's our 8th year, so we're thrilled about that. I know, never imagined that 8 years ago when it started on a lark that we would be where we are today. But it's coming this Saturday, the 17th, downtown Lafayette in Parc Sans-Souci from 10 o'clock until 4 o'clock. And if people want more information, they can go to the website, BoudinCook-Off.com, and we'll have the schedule up posted in a couple of days. But we're good to go.
And there's some new talent this year that are in entering the race. I know Hook and Boil.
Right.
Which I will say I've had theirs, and it is great. A lot of restaurants that make their Boudin in-house, I find to be very ricey, and theirs is not.
Yeah.
And I was shocked. Shocked. And they're going to be they're making their own Boudin, Tasso, and Cracklins. Like they're going to be making all of that in-house.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see.
I'm excited too.
What they're going to do.
Right.
Crawfish Town is also.
Right. But we've also got a couple coming from Ville Platte. We've got Teats. And
that's new.
They're gonna go against T-Boys,
huh?
Stuff.
That's right. T-Boy welcomed them actually.
T-Boy, God, that was a big fight before I came here. I was in Mamu.
Oh, is that right?
Going off about T-Boys.
Okay.
They're like,
well, maybe I'll. Thanks for the advice. I'll put them at opposite ends of the park.
It's true.
I love,
or maybe not.
I love that T-Boys campaigns, and they have like we're the best. And I remember I went up to them last year. And I was like, oh, I have a friend who's from Mamu. He says that you're the best. And she just handed me the sticker and she goes, it's because we are.
See, I would argue with that, but I'm not going to get into it.
Yeah, I love that they're so like, yes, we are the best.
They are. They have a lot of confidence for sure.
So do you know yet what some of the entries are going to be for the dishes that they create with the Boudin?
You know, I do. And I'm not sure I'm supposed to tell, though.
It'll be a secret. That's why you have to come out next Saturday and find out.
I do know that one team is planning on doing a Boudin stuffed chicken. Or wait, no, a Boudin stuffed potato stuffed chicken.
That's a lot of stuff.
That's a lot of stuffing.
It is. It must be a gigantic chicken, huh?
That's almost like a turducken. That's a lot.
Potato duck.
Yeah.
I guess in today's lifestyle, you get your whole meal in one little thing. Like, I don't have to pick separate ones. I just take it all.
And I think I know we've got some Boudin nachos coming out that I have sampled, and they were really, really good. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this. I'm judging again this year, and I'm just excited that Black Pot is not happening the same day.
Oh, you were in for it last year.
I thought I was going to die.
That's right.
I actually judged the Boudin Cook-Off first, and it was good. I was like, all right, I'm good. And then by the end of the Black Pot Cook-Off, I was like, I don't want rice and gravy ever again.
Not so good.
Not ever again. It wasn't so good. You are also going to be doing a tailgating cook-off?
Yeah, right. So we've partnered with the Daily Advertiser, and we're going to do a Boudin Tailgate Challenge in November, the 21st of November. That's right. So give people who come out and do tailgating an opportunity to put their tailgate recipes with Boudin to the test. So it should just be a lot of fun. It's not the same sort of thing. It's not where people necessarily get to go around and sample everybody's entries. But it's just to kind of have a good time with Boudin and tailgating. And
you're also going to be doing a cooking class as well?
Well, yeah, it's been called a cooking class, but I hesitate. I try to keep people from saying a cooking class. We're going to do a cooking demo and an interactive, fun cooking experience with Boudin. Yeah.
Nice.
And that's December, right? The first week of December. I should know the date, but I don't.
We'll probably have y'all on closer to
yeah.
it to talk about it a little more. So I recently had an incident in Natchitoches where I tried Boudin and regretted it immediately.
Oh no!
So it kind of brought
Did
up
you take pictures?
I did actually, and I think I said F. I was working for your website all of a sudden, and I was like F.
I've done that on
the dreaded F.
I feel like it had, you know what it reminded me of? Seafood dressing, and I feel like it had cornbread in it.
Oh,
gross!
It was like a ball that I had tried. I was gonna get a link somewhere else, and it looked so disgusting. I was like, nope, not happening. So I went to another gas station. But it brought up the topic of where the cutoff is for eating Boudin in the state. What is your cutoff?
I guess my cutoff, I need to get to Shreveport, because I've heard that there are a couple of places in Shreveport. So
Jolie's like, no.
Right, I mean, I just can't shake my head like that because I haven't been there and done it. But otherwise my line would be Alexandria, and I've found a couple of really good links in Alexandria.
Really?
Yeah. Porky's.
See, people like to talk about Lake Charles area and not having good Boudin, and I know that they start spelling it differently.
Yeah, they
do
start spelling it differently, and they start taking the liver out for sure.
But
then that's not Boudin.
That's the problem.
I had some from Market Basket and Sulphur, and it was good. Like, I liked it, so I feel like they do have some decent Boudin on that side.
Yeah, they absolutely do. Actually, Saunier is over in Lake Charles' first rate.
I didn't try the Rabideau's, but I heard the Rabideau's wasn't that great. I should just stick with the sausage there. You're like, yeah.
But if you're talking north, I've gone as far north and had a good link.
See, somebody was saying, I forgot what they had said, but they weren't including Evangeline Parish, and I was like, you have to include Evangeline Parish.
No, that's ridiculous. Yeah.
In it, you have to include it. Now, I know your favorite is Johnson's. Is that still your favorite?
Yeah, it's my favorite because of. It encapsulates everything about Boudin. I mean, it's got the historical story there, and you've got the people who actually started making it, still selling it. So it's got the whole package, absolutely.
And you like Earl's.
We all know I love my Earl's.
Is that right?
Earl's and
She's
Nunu's.
an Earl's girl.
Okay, yeah, Nunu's is a good
I love
link for
Nunu's.
sure.
Earl's is just, that's my favorite, hands down.
I haven't been to Earl's in a while. I need to get back over
They
there.
actually have just started doing breakfast, and I had a breakfast biscuit that was the size of my head yesterday. And it was called like the Good Morning Earl, and it had bacon, egg, cheese, and Boudin on it with a Tabasco honey sauce.
And if he ever has the Hog's Head cheese there,
it's good.
He doesn't make it anymore. He comes in as a visitor. It's so good.
Really?
Now, I heard a rumor just today from a well-informed Boudin critic that someone is doing a Boudin ball stuffed with bacon. You know anything about this?
Oh, yes, that's in Brobridge. There's this place that just opened up in Brobridge. And I know where it is. I know like the location. I don't know the name of it off the top of my head. I can tell you after the show. I'll research it. But they're doing a Boudin ball that has bacon in it.
Okay.
And then Earl's is supposed to be doing a Boudin corn dog.
All right. Well, and that's been tried before.
Yeah,
right?
Bread and Circus did it.
I'm a purist. I like my Boudin just maybe some crackers.
Yeah. Well, you can't get away from the purity of it, but it's cool to see people kind of venturing out and doing cutting-edge stuff.
All right, and so the Boudin Cook-Off is happening next Saturday. That's October 17th. And what are the times again?
10 o'clock until 4 o'clock. But get there early because you never know how
they
long
may
the
run
Boudin
out.
will last. Right?
There you go. All right, thank you so much for
Thanks
joining
a lot.
us tonight. And Jolie, thank you for guest co-hosting.
You're welcome.
All right, that's our show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Join us next week, Sunday at 6 p.m. This has been Tiffiany Decou on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. And this has been the Lafayette Food Junkie Show. Thanks for listening. And as always, happy eating, Acadiana.